Her opponent from China, KUAI Man!
Well, lots of support for both of these players, obviously. KUAI Man, the rising star. Happy birthday to KUAI Man, 21 today. And she's going to be a busy birthday girl. She's got 3 separate appearances booked on this table in this Infinity Arena. And the fans and the commentators alike can't wait to see her in action. She has been fabulous this week in Singapore. But she is up against someone who, coming through qualifying, has not dropped a game deep now into the women's main draw in the singles. So KUAI Man against ZHU Yuling sees us go to the best of 7 format now as we arrive at the cutting edge of this women's singles tournament. ZHU Yuling, formerly right at the top, highest world ranking of 1 back in 2018. Her story's been told many times, but serious illness put her out of the game seemingly for good until she staged a remarkable comeback. We saw her in action in Macau. We've seen her recently getting back to her best, and she has been stunning here in Singapore. So forget that world ranking. She is a serious threat, the 30-year-old, to the young birthday girl. Nico Zorgens, the umpire.
I have yellow and green. Yellow or green? Green for you. Yellow for you. Green, KUAI wins. Serve. Stay there.
Let's take a little look at how impressive these two both were in making it to this quarterfinal. Both in action yesterday, both absolutely fantastic. To take on Satsuki Odo, the young Japanese player who'd been so good, and to breeze past her in 3 games, well, that was really impressive in the women's singles round of 16 for ZHU Yuling, who then signed the autographs and focused on this encounter with KUAI Man, who has been fabulous both in singles and doubles. The wild card player with the shock of this Singapore Smash 2025, knocking out defending champion Wong Man Yu, derailing her ambitions of moving to the top of the women's game. You couldn't find 2 more in-form women's players, Fraser, than these two right now in this competition.
They've both been like knives through butter. I mean, ZHU Yuling not only just taking out Oda, but also Du Hoi Kem and Miu Hirano in straight games in the main draw. KUAI Man, like you said, defeating the defending champion. And also on the way through being Team Meshref and Chen Trent.
Road to this round here, getting past the Portuguese player Yu, then Hanagoda, the bright young Egyptian, and Wong Man Yu. That's a scalp that you take. And of course, she then teamed up with Wong Man Yu to win in women's doubles later on yesterday as well. ZHU Yuling, beautifully captured there on screen there, 30 years old right now, making up for a little bit of lost time. What have you made of her form?
It's been awesome to see her back fighting fit. Former world #1, former World Cup champion. Saw her, as you said, at that Champions in Macau. She was a wildcard nominee. She played a few feeders, and then we saw her in Star Contender Doha, where she reached the round of 16. This is her flawless run through, and she had to play qualifiers as well, remember?
Yeah, and took out some high-quality players. Du Hoi Kem of Hong Kong, China, and then Hirano and Odo. Back-to-back wins against very high-quality Japanese players. Well, the fans are going with the younger woman in this one. 67% with KUAI Man, which is it understandable to you? I suppose in rankings and all those things it is, but this isn't about that. These two are very evenly matched, Fraser.
They are. I mean, in terms of nous, you'd have to favour ZHU Yuling, but in terms of form and how much she's been training and the quality of her training, you'll have to go with KUAI Man. ZHU Yuling, a coach in Macau.
Yeah, she's known as the professor. She's actually accredited as a physical training
First game,
coach.
KUAI to serve, level.
And the obvious segue there is she going to be schooling KUAI Man here today? Well, we'll find out. We're up and running.
Two love.
Remember, we're into best of 7 format now from this point on. So this could go deep.
Usually that favours the favourite, but as we said, it's tough to tell who the favourite actually is here.
2-1.
zoom in on the contrasting styles on show now. Not exactly a generational gap between them, but there's a long distance between them in terms of their table tennis pedigree and background, in terms of their upbringings.
Yeah, considerable difference. ZHU Yuling at the peak of her powers in 2018. KUAI Man, I'd say it's actually overdue that she would become a top 10 player. And you have the likes of Miwa Haramoto, Shin Yubin, Odo in there. She will feel now that it's her time.
We've spoken about her points won on serve earlier on, and going into the round of 16 match, she was ranked third highest in that category, and it's something that KUAI Man has really made a tremendous weapon. Let's have a little look at the ZHU Yuling serve.
3-4.
Decent receive. I mean, KUAI Man knows that ZHU Yuling's going to serve for the most part into the middle and forehand to make it tough for her to get on the front foot straight away with a flick. So push play has to be good, as it was against Wang Man Yu.
4-4.
Yeah, beautifully done. She's so quick, isn't she, on her feet?
She is, and it's her anticipation. She's not as powerful as KUAI Man, but she's unpredictable. She will vary the spin and speeds in an exemplary way.
So often we talk about the power in the modern game, and is that going to be a problem for her at the very, very top level, ZHU Yuling, against the best?
I'd say so. That the power and the speed will be noticeable.
4-6.
But the craftsmanship of ZHU Yuling's game is sublime. Right up there, still with the very best. You don't lose
she's
that.
been adapting, hasn't she, since her return? Oh, there's the power.
7.
That's what you're up against. Where does that shot come from?
That's ridiculous. She sideswiped to cross it as well, KUAI Man. Finish of some swagger.
And then she went back twice to that same corner, but ZHU Yuling was in the right place this time.
Abbreviates her stroke there against another side spinny, fading shot, ZHU Yuling.
She's going to have to draw the sting from KUAI Man here, isn't she? Just deaden the blows.
7-6.
Doing a good job here.
Six, 8.
Nice parallel. Oh my goodness.
9.
Too many things to talk about there, John. Using every shot in the arsenal, the X's and H's, the recovery of KUAI Man there.
Just that movement, just side to side, so efficient.
Strawberry push.
Oh, and again a winner to take her to 4 game points.
Neither player ever looks rushed. So calm, so relaxed. So refreshing to see this quality here.
10-7.
ZHU Yuling's got to be at her best defensively, hasn't she? She's having so much thrown at her. Still 3 game points. Change of ball. Still on serve. KUAI Man for the game.
8.
New
10.
ball, no good.
Yeah, tried a surprise factor serve, lots of side spin and backspin. Tried to serve it long.
And it gives you a chance to stay alive in this. She trails by 2. She has serves.
11.
But that's it. That's the first
Game
gone.
to KUAI.
And this onslaught from the young Chinese player means that for the first time here in Singapore, ZHU Yuling drops a game. But she's made a stern staff. She's resilient. We know that. In the game and away from the game, she's going to have to somehow slow down this KUAI Man charge.
So fascinating to see the reactions of the Team China players, Ma Lin as well. He'll feel a little bit cautious to overclap, I think,
Second game,
former Olympic
2 to
champion.
serve.
Yeah, you're
Level.
right there. A lot of respect being shown to ZHU Yuling. Slightly odd situation, but
One
You asked me, John,
love.
in the first game, how much the difference of speed would be a factor here. Obviously, ZHU Yuling, 30 years of age, not as drilled as she once was.
and she's unlucky there.
1-4.
Reacted brilliantly, but loses the point. Yeah, and she's in the face of a new generation, if you will, a new wave of attacking play. We've seen KUAI Man, and in particular her doubles partner, Lin Shidong, produce shots that maybe ZHU Yuling doesn't see that very often.
Let 1-all.
You should be well aware of them and understand what it takes to prevent that and counter that. But her last match against a Team China player was against Shi Sun Yao, a new generation player of China.
2-1.
And it was 3-0 to Shi, the star contender in Doha. She reached around a 16 there, ZHU Yuling.
Yeah, she had such a tough draw, didn't she, in terms of return to action
2-all.
in Macau. But then she's been gradually building, and that's the beauty of this. You know, even through this qualifying and then main draw campaign here in Singapore, you can just see her picking up information, learning as she goes. But the problem is she's now up against a high-quality Team China player, which is a different equation.
2-3.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Trading blows brilliantly.
3-4.
She's growing into this one, is ZHU Yuling. And she's not just up against any Team China player. You'd probably say, arguably, men or women, I don't think there's anyone more in form than KUAI Man in Singapore right now, is there?
Well, obviously, Xia was disappointing in Fukuoka. We haven't seen her at any of the season opening events. She's looked good so far. She beat the European champion Polkonova yesterday in 3 straight. You could argue that KUAI Man could be the second best player right now from China.
4-3.
Yeah, just in terms of what she's done this week, you know, the way she's growing, the way she's impressed. Xia, of course, yeah. She's just been so solid. So what she does, so number one.
Yeah, but in terms of relative form, yeah, KUAI Man, probably the best. Who's beaten 1-1 U 3-0?
Yeah, that's the one. And has the ability to do that.
Took it a tad later to cause a bit of hesitation. Bent the wrist, came round that ball wonderfully. Takes the pace off there. Wow.
3-6.
Then injects the pace.
And she's injected the pace into this game. From 3-all, she's suddenly stretched away.
She knows exactly which shot she needs to wait for and which she needs to meet. Transfer her weight through a little bit more.
7-3.
Once again, ZHU Yuling left clutching.
Trying to win a cheat point there. Well, not a cheat point, but a quick point with a long serve. KUAI saw it coming from a mile away.
8-3.
And she has rattled off this run of 5 points now. 8-3 she leads.
3-9.
Little faded finish there as well.
This is turning into an onslaught that ZHU Yuling just has no answer to.
Nice momentum for the birthday girl here.
Yeah, 7 of the last 8 points, you won't be surprised to see.
4-9.
That might surprise you.
9-5.
Two quality services in there.
Yeah, she needed those little fight back on serve there, but she has to receive now.
Nine, 6.
Now, that's the first time we've seen her do that against KUAI Man.
Love this shot here. It's the first time we've seen her play that for a winner in that particular manner. She has played a few where she's got the bat so horizontal. She looks tough for space.
7-9.
And now she's pulled within 2.
Timeout.
Yep, no great surprise there. Timeout called. Having looked to get herself into a position of utter dominance, KUAI Man just drops 4 points in a row then and needs to regroup. We always knew this one was going to be fantastic, and it's turning out to be that way. ZHU Yuling 7-9 down, having dropped the first game, but still in this.
7-10.
That's the big picture. She's playing really well, but it's so hard to stop KUAI Man here, who has 3 game points.
Just testing those irregular transitions. It's harder to play a forehand from wide and then into middle.
10.
Second time we've seen that in 3 points now.
I'm loving this forehand of ZHU Yuling. She's played some across the body. It's not the most powerful, but she just knows exactly how to break a pattern. She went against the body weight, against the body momentum of KUAI Man there to go wide.
Saves a game point. Great placement. But then she hurried up her opponent, who was equal to the challenge, as she seems to be equal to just about anything. KUAI Man takes the second, 2-love the lead now, and she's looking good again.
Well, that's the mark of a champion there. She wins the game, but still shakes her head as if to say that should have been sealed a little bit sooner. Qualities of ZHU Yuling shining through there. She was cunning, she made things tricky in the end.
But it's 11-8, 11-8 to the younger woman. The birthday girl is setting herself up for an early celebration. Take a little look at the winning ball placement. She had that tremendous run, didn't she? And this dominance on the left-hand side of the table, Fraser, what does that tell us?
Yeah, I mean, KUAI Man's backhand on that parallel was fantastic to go into ZHU Yuling's backhand side. You know, ZHU Yuling's forehand was so good that KUAI had to readjust, actually. Play into that backhand a little bit more.
Yeah, we saw the danger in that ZHU Yuling forehand towards the end of the game, but it was in vain, as a couple of great winners couldn't stop her losing it. And now, in this best of 7, she's 2 down.
Third game, KUAI to serve, level.
Yeah, this is effectively now a must-win game. 3-0 down against KUAI Man, you wouldn't fancy your chances at all.
Love 1. Let love 1.
KUAI Man here introducing her reverse pendulum serve. Goes for it again after the let.
2 love.
Dealt with well. I mean, ZHU Yuling will know better than anyone. You don't want to try and match the very, very best players in the world pace for pace. You've got to try and stall them by slowing things down at the right time, playing with additional rotation.
2-1.
KUAI Man knows what it's all about, getting into the long matches at the end of events. Seen her do that, of course, at WTT star contender in Doha, going all the way.
That's her biggest achievement to date in singles.
1-3.
Yep. Yep. Straight games, 4-love that one against Miyu Kihara.
Yeah, she's leagues above her teammates actually at the youth stage, KUAI Man. But there are some hot prospects, Chen Yi, among others.
2-3.
You picked up on it earlier. She doesn't show a lot of emotion, but there are just little flickers of emotion from KUAI Man. Sets high standards and lets you know when she feels she could do better.
4-2.
Yeah, we see sprinkles of emotion. She is quite unassuming, as many of the Team China players are. But, you know, the older she gets, the better she'll get at perspectivizing things when things get tricky, which, of course, is going to happen. The more you play, the more studyable material there is of you online and so forth.
4-3.
ZHU Yuling, meanwhile, is someone who looks like she's never ruffled by too much, really. And she's going to have to keep up that approach here against her tyro of an opponent.
4-all.
We've seen her try and surprise KUAI Man with another long serve. She readjusted her serve position, something a bit more unusual, but again, KUAI Man sees it coming.
Oh,
5,
so quick again.
4.
There's just zero hesitation with every shot.
And you think
Time
about
out.
the pedigree of ZHU Yuling here. She's been taken by surprise 2 or 3 times in recent points. And that's going to be playing on her mind. You can be absolutely sure of that.
变化太多了，对他说变化太多，他想怎么接，你自己都想不好，你就索性就让他拧一下就完了，你就发出，你就发勾一勾一下，让他拧一下，你去插入直线就完了。要不是你发这个侧旋发反而这样拧一下，你就衔接他这一个手，你不要让他又拉你又拖你就行了，然后配合长的，然后打枪时放你，然后连力也别沾上反弹，这样就挑是好，不按挑。 有这一下，想想，别打了，打复活了，旋转也打不出来。
Coach Deng Haipeng and ZHU Yuling between them trying to figure out how you solve a problem like KUAI Man. That's not easily fixed.
Well, you can't blame her for not expecting, in a way, the balls to come back with the amount of vigor, venom as they are. Breezing through this KUAI Man. I'll tell you what as well, I mean,
4-6.
when you play cross-table with pace, it is so difficult for your opponent to then play the line, the parallel. The parallel is the shorter side to play. It's a longer length. More margin for error when you go across table. But KUAI Man is able to redirect down the line under pressure. That's something as well, actually, the lefty Chen Chin Yi is good at.
Takes 2 much-needed points there, ZHU Yuling. And there's a contrast in style here. She'll get into position for what looks like it's going to be a commanding smash, but her placement is her biggest weapon and friend here. It's just the hurry-up she's got a couple of times from KUAI Man that's been the difference between the two. The pace of the returns.
Yeah, just caught the edge there, just kissed it. Good sportsmanship from ZHU Yuling.
Sorry,
well.
in English, came from her. She's known as Mandy these days, KUAI Man.
It takes such maturity when you can crack the ball as KUAI Man can to actually not increase any pace. I acknowledge that, you know what, I'm going to test my opponent's ability to create their own pace.
First real show of frustration from ZHU Yuling there in the wake of that one.
She had time on the balls, but she had nothing really to feed off.
Eight.
Got to be very mindful where you invest in the speed game and the spin game.
8.
Clever serve, shovel action, caught KUAI Man out.
Yeah, and she acknowledges as much. Yep, little nod of the head.
First 2 games, 11-8. Again, ZHU Yuling has scored 8 points. Could she better that?
Nine, 8.
Not yet, anyhow, because this is where KUAI Man has showed that ruthlessness hitherto in this match.
Let 9-8. Eight, 10.
And again, she gets herself maneuvered into a position to take out the game. ZHU serving to stay in it again. 8-10 down, staring at a 3-game deficit.
$11-8.
And that is all she wrote. It's now 3-love, and it looks like it's an almost impossible task for the player from Macau, China, against KUAI Man, who is awesome again at the Infinity Arena.
It's strange, really, there. I really felt like ZHU Yuling could have swung this a little bit, but again, KUAI Man with an 11-8 victory.
Jung Woo Jin has been fabulous so far in Singapore this week. He even told us about his hair and the confidence he's taking from the blonde mop. But he comes up against Liang Jingguan, and these two players have met before. Liang is someone who has quietly maybe made his way through to this quarterfinal. That's one to look forward to up next. But before that, will KUAI Man get the job done against ZHU Yuling? 8-8-8, lucky for some, but not for her, because her opponent has gone 11-11-11.
Love 1.
You wonder whether ZHU Yuling's going to sort of throw caution to the wind now, try and sort of serve a bit longer, more often, half long even, try and counter. point construction doesn't seem to be working against this old head on young shoulders.
Yeah, I know you were bemused at the end of that last game when she'd got herself into a position, but just subsided.
Yeah.
Just lost it.
Well, that's stunning.
3.
A misdirecting form motion with that backhand, fading the backhand across the ball, and then doing the same with the forehand. Huh. Just like that.
It's a play we saw in the first game.
1-3.
And it's beginning to look just on the features of ZHU Yuling as if she's beginning to maybe accept the inevitable here.
One, 4.
She has other gears to go to, doesn't she? And she's engaging them now, KUAI Man.
Different gravy.
And even that
1.
retrieve, wide to the backhand, she can do very little wrong at the moment, KUAI Man.
All I'll say is, John, as this match could be over fairly soon, is that I remember watching table tennis for the first time internationally. 2017 Worlds, ZHU Yuling was a teenager. World final against Ding Ning. You know, she was being set up to be someone like a Sun Ying Sha, someone like a Wang Manyu, potential future Olympic champion. And all I'll say is that despite being outclassed here, she is still a phenomenal player, and I'm very happy to see her back.
2-6.
Fabulous, yeah. She's also seeing something awesome growing here in the shape of KUAI Man.
Yeah, she'll be excited about the future of China.
2-7.
Looks as if KUAI Man's in a hurry to get this one done. Maybe mindful of her busy schedule today. Not to be disrespectful, of course, to her opponent, but she's getting on with things a little bit more in this game. The 21-year-old.
Yeah, nothing worse as a table tennis player when you're a game away from victory. Your opponent gets one back, the demons begin to creep into your mind, the doubt.
7-4.
Just a little reminder there of what ZHU Yuling's got, the qualities.
Haven't spoken about the draw, but the winner of this will face the winner of Hayata and Chen Qingtong.
5-7.
2 really good points for ZHU Yuling there. Looking to delay any progress into that matchup that you just mentioned for KUAI Man. Who would be your pick in the Hina Hayata Chen Qingtong encounter?
Hayata's coming back from injury. Chen Qingtong looked good against Soch. Actually, fancying Hayata. Had a close game in their last and only meeting in 7.
6-7.
Let's see, though. That one's coming up soon.
Yeah, that's high quality, that one. 3 points in a row here for ZHU Yuling. Just when she needed them most. Moves within 1 again in this 4th game.
7.
And now level. Maybe KUAI Man forcing the issue a bit too much.
Potentially. I mean, she didn't keep her posture on this. Maybe admired her own shot a little bit too much, planted her feet. ZHU Yuling playing it into that crossover section. Quite slightly rooted.
Eight, 7.
Testing that forehand recovery marvellously there, KUAI Man. 3 high-class backhands. That one there just a little bit more into the transition zone. Again, the irregular transitions. Forehand wide to forehand middle.
7,
That
9.
backhand once again serving KUAI Man absolutely perfectly.
Eight, 9.
That's as good as we've seen from ZHU Yuling. But it had to be perfectly positioned.
Well, that was a blast from the past there. Wisps it away. 8 again. What now?
Nine.
She's got beyond 8. 9 all. Is it all going to change?
From mid-distance, look at this here. Shovel serve, half long. Great spin from KUAI. She caressed that ball wonderfully and got so low to loop that forehand from low.
She's taken 6 out the last 8 points as ZHU, just when she needed it to stay alive in this one.
Nine.
And
10.
even the KUAI Man serve not quite going her way. So a game point for the first time now in this match for the player from Macau, China. Can't take it, 10 all. And she smiles in recognition of the chance that's gone.
Seemed like a bit of a rash shot selection there.
I think the coach might have been thinking just that.
11.
And now,
10.
just like that, she sees herself on the brink of losing it to Yuling as it's match point for KUAI Man. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Acknowledges a little flick there off the net, or the edge rather, but brilliant way to stay in this from ZHU Yuling. She wasn't getting that anyway.
11, 12.
Game point 2. What's the shot selection this time? Let's see.
Let's see. KUAI Man serving. ZHU Yuling went for a really sort of lottery shot, that flick. Now what? Will KUAI make any change to the serve here?
13, 11.
She gets the break and she gets the game.
2.
So she's on the board, 3-1 down here, having fought so hard, and it's a measure of her quality, her pedigree, and also her character, that she's refused to succumb here to the brilliant young Chinese player, KUAI Man. This one goes into a 5th.
It's fascinating. Let's see what unfolds next. Is there going to be any more twist to this tale? Bit of fortune to finish, but you can't say that ZHU Yuling didn't deserve the game. Every game's been fairly close.
Just checking in here to see how that second men's doubles semi-final played out, and it was a victory for the pair from Chinese Taipei, Lin and Gao. Extraordinary reaction from their French opponents. 3-1 was the victory there, but the charismatic French pair will be signing autographs. If you are in Singapore and want to make your way down to the Smash Park outside the Infinity Arena, they will be there to sign. Meanwhile, we're off to a stunning start to the 5th game here in our women's singles quarter-final.
She dug deep there, KUAI Man. That's a big show. Again, that inside-out forehand. ZHU Yuling knew as soon as she made contact.
Flying with a smile.
Love.
Again, the pace on that backhand from KUAI is just unsettling her opponent.
Ooh, saps it, and again!
1, 2.
Mimarito. Hello.
That's the most aggression I think we've seen from ZHU Yuling all the way through this.
That's outrageous. I have never seen ZHU Yuling do that before. That's crazy.
Well, maybe she needs a bit of crazy because she's got such a long way back if she's to come through in this one.
Two, 3.
Make no mistake, this has been a highly competitive match. Losing the first 3 games, 11-8. Just sneaking through in the 4th. In front now in the 5th, ZHU Yuling.
3,
Again, it's that backhand parallel. I mean, ZHU Yuling's expecting to be switched wide forehand. She's having to get the bat high because she knows she won't have much time, and then there's just nothing she can do really there.
Yeah, no time to react, couldn't get in position.
Three, 4.
Chance may present itself, but you've still got to put it away, and there's a ruthlessness to KUAI Man's work that sees her do that.
Let 3, 4.
Oh.
3.
How good is that?
This is some of the highest quality stuff we've seen all event, and you'd expect nothing less from these two. That swooping forehand somehow came back, and all ZHU Yuling could do was try and catch it with the left hand.
Crushing 2 forehands, much to the approval of the coach.
Let 5, 3. Six, 3.
At the start of this match, I had a superstitious thought. I was thinking KUAI Man's mixed doubles partner Lin Shidong lost on his birthday in Macau, the champions to Haramoto. But this Macau player here, ZHU Yuling, I don't think he's going to be able to defeat KUAI Man today on her birthday.
No, she's in trouble now. 4 points in arrears. She serves. All that hard work she put in game 4, well, that's done now.
Four, 7.
But that little flicker shows there's life in her yet.
Seven, 5.
Wins her serves, closes to 5-7. 7-5 now, KUAI Man, who has to organize herself mentally here as well. Someone's really zooming in.
Good placement there.
5.
Very good placement from KUAI Man. I love these balls that she plays that aren't even that powerful. They're just loaded with topspin into exactly the right position. It's a table awareness that impresses me the most, John.
9.
This has been an impressive way to bounce back from dropping that game. Edging closer now to a match victory here and an opportunity to look ahead to a semi-final against either Hina Hayata or Chen Xingtong.
6, 9. 9-7.
But not yet, because ZHU Yuling will not go away.
So making it a guessing game with this shovel serve. KUAI Man's been trying the Chiquita, putting around the side of the ball that was slightly more wide into the backhand, but that one a bit more towards the middle.
9-8.
9-8. That's a rarity on serve from KUAI Man. It's 4 points in a row to draw ZHU Yuling level once more.
Well, when you're on the brink of the biggest achievement of your career, I mean, she'd win more points getting to the semis of this smash than she did winning the star contender. You can understand if there's a little bit of nervousness here.
She's dropped a couple of points on serve there. She's at 56%, KUAI Man. Typically strong, but could have done with a couple there. Now, ZHU Yuling could serve,
9,
but doesn't win the point. I was going to say, to get herself back into this. Instead, she's staring at a match point. Again. What did she save? 1 or 2 in the last?
Yeah.
Well, it was cautious. It was cagey, uncharacteristically so from KUAI Man, and it's all square again.
Well, John, I think that was actually very clever play from KUAI Man. I think that she tried to slow it down to cause hesitation, and the placement was brilliant to each corner, but ZHU Yuling didn't overthink for a split second.
Now the chance again. 10-11, serving to stay in this event here in Singapore. ZHU Yuling. What's the KUAI Man approach this time?
Well,
it came down to the quality of the serve, didn't it, in the end?
It did, yeah, just a little bit loose with that receive, but that shovel serve again, causing trouble again.
Another opportunity to get this done for KUAI Man.
What a push.
And this time it's there, and built off the back of that, Fraser took us home. Beautiful point, and that demonstrates why she is such a threat in this draw.
Such prowess there from KUAI Man. Controlled aspects of her game shining through. And the youngster, the birthday girl, continues this fairy tale run. She's into the semis here. And I think that actually might guarantee her a place in the top 10 in the world rankings now. Something which she's never achieved before. And ZHU Yuling, well, welcome back to the big stage. It's been great watching you.
Fabulous performance from her, dropping the first 3 to 8, winning 13-11, but then losing the ultimate game there, 13-11. And KUAI Man has been pushed hard all the way in this one, but now she can focus on that semi-final against either Chen Xintong or Hina Hayata, as well as the other assignments today on a busy birthday for the 21-year-old who has doubles action to look forward to later on, which means that you lucky viewers get a chance to see the KUAI Man show once again. Have a little look tactically at what we saw here again. Fraser, what impressed you the most?
It was just her ability to keep the ball tight. Her push play was sublime, the way she held the table. I think my favourite shot from KUAI Man that match was that inside-out forehand that she played. When she pivoted, came across the ball, burning ZHU Yuling out wide a couple of times there. And the parallel backhand was great too.
There it is, the tale of a highly impressive, high-quality matchup between the two. Service win percent characteristically high for KUAI Man, but it was the nature of the win of some of those points over 44 minutes play that's seen her through. So ZHU Yuling was always going to make that tough for the 21-year-old, but not tough enough to stop her. Women's singles action, high quality, and we've got plenty of great action to come in the men's singles as well as doubles to come still here in the Infinity Arena. And we're just about ready to hear from the birthday girl. She is standing by to be interviewed after her victory, because we want to hear how her birthday has been going so far. I'd imagine it's going to be a very positive answer to that question, which presumably will come from our interviewer down by the table. Iggy is about to get going. All right, let's cross back down now. They're ready to go. Here is our winner, KUAI Man.
Mandy, congratulations. It was a great match today. Solid match. Yuling played great, but you're now through to the semi-finals for the very first time for you. How do you feel?
恭喜KUAI Man，今天的比赛非常的出色，赢得非常的精彩。那这也是你第一次在 WTT 的大满贯赛事进入到半决赛，感受如何呢？
我觉得我现在还有点沉浸在比赛当中吧，没有完全在比赛当中走出来吧。但最终能赢下比赛，还是非常开心吧。
Yeah, I think I'm still pretty absorbed in the match, and I'm very happy to have eventually won that.
You played a player today who has won every match 3-0 leading up to the quarterfinals. She's a former #1. What was your approach coming into today's match? How did you overcome and actually win the match today?
那你的对手ZHU Yuling呢，在新加坡大满贯其他的比赛是一路3比0赢上来的，而且他也曾经是世界排名第1的选手。今天是用什么样的战术和准备来打这场比赛？是如何获胜的呢？
我觉得今天的对手吧，也是前辈吧，对于我来说也是，整体实力也是非常强吧。虽然说中间他可能前一段时间没有出来比赛，但是他的实力还是非常强嘛。我赛前也做了充分的准备吧，然后不管在比赛当中碰到什么样的情况吧，都坚定出手。
My opponent is a senior and veteran player, and she's indeed pretty strong. Although she hasn't been active in table tennis for a while, but she's a very formidable opponent. I came into today's match very well prepared, and whatever I encounter on the court, I told myself to be decisive in my shots.
You're in outstanding form. We wish you the best of luck in the semi-finals, and we can't wait to see you play.
那你现在状态非常好，我们也非常期待你接下来的表现。
好，谢谢。
In China, in great form in that interview as well there, as she spoke about the respect she has for ZHU Yuling and the fact that she decided to play her shots, and boy did she ever do that. So as we told you, she now awaits the quarterfinal between Hina Hayata and Chen Xingtong to see who she takes on in the semi-final, having picked up her first senior WTT title already earlier on in 2025. This is turning into a very special start to the year for KUAI Man. She'll be back, as I said earlier on, she'll be back in doubles action for you to watch her later on. But our singles run continues with men's action in the quarterfinals. Liang Jinkun of China up against Korea Republic's Zhang Wuqin. That's next. The party continues in the Infinity Arena, where we have just seen a fabulous win for KUAI Man in women's singles action, and our focus is going to switch now to a clash between the 4th and 12th seeded men in the men's singles quarterfinals. About to receive those two latest players on this table here, as we're about to see the arrival of Liang Jingquan and Zhang Wujin. Earlier on today, it was a victory for the newly